Symphony Woods was, as its name suggested, a wooded park separating Little Patuxent Parkway and the Meriwether Post Pavilion Music Theater. On the opposite side of the road stood a series of 10 or so story office buildings, and beyond them the Columbia Town Center, which Peller had always thought a strange thing to call a shopping mall. Town center sounded to him like a geographical term, like the point from which mileage was calculated, or the business district on Main Street, around which a town had grown. Whatever it was, thick snow blanketed everything around it, except for a thin channel down the middle of the road where the plows had muscled through. The driver had been shot while plowing the south lanes along the park. The vehicle had careened off the road and come to rest blade against an oak trunk. The snow apparently slowed the truck because the tree was only lightly scarred. The driver, though, was another matter. He had been shot from the right, the passenger side, and the part of his face not contused from striking the steering wheel was spattered with blood from the exit wound. The shot must have come from the woods. Scanning the whiteness beneath the trees, Peller noticed a mound about a hundred feet off the side of the road. One of the patrolmen had with some effort slogged through the snow and was now examining the area. Convenient, Peller thought as he set off down the patrolman's trail, looking for but seeing no sign of disturbance on either side. "Looks kind of like a kid's snow fort," the patrolman remarked as Peller arrived. Behind the mound, in reality a clumsily made snow wall, was a hollow of well-stomped snow, a small supply of snowballs, and a path leading out the back. Someone had apparently been as determined to cut through the snow as the officer. The trail led westward towards Broken Land Parkway. "Get someone to drive around there and see where it comes out," Peller said. "And let's get this area photographed. Maybe the lab can do some digital magic and tell us what size feet we're back to here." The officer nodded. "You think the shooter hid back here?" "Seems likely." "Pretty fair shot. Not so much the distance, but through the trees at a moving target?" Peller squinted back towards the road. "Doesn't it strike you as a lot of trouble to go through? He wasn't the president. He was a snowplow driver." "Maybe when we know who it was, it'll make some kind of sense." "Not at all sure about that," Peller replied. "Maybe. Let me know what you find at the other end of the trail. I'm going to have another look at the plow." The wind had picked up. Blowing snow already obscured the trail the officer had broken. Back at the plow, Peller waited for the body to be removed, then took a look around the cab. Very little caught his eye. A pack of chewing gum and a copy of Fish and Stream lay on the floor on the passenger's side. The keys were still in the ignition, although the engine had been turned off. Peller made a mental note to ask who had done that. The glove compartment was strangely empty, but he didn't quite know what to expect in the glove compartment of a snowplow. Peller wondered about the driver's family, who they were, how many they were, what they would do without him. He'd know soon enough, but he always found it disturbing to witness how swiftly a family's world could be demolished. He wondered what his own family would do if anything happened to him. Whatever the excuse is keeping us apart, he thought, not one of them is a good one. When the second letter landed on his desk on Wednesday, March 2nd, Peller almost didn't realize it. Unlike the first, the address was typed, the postmark was Frederick, and the return address claimed the sender was a Mr. F. Leonard. When the latter connected, he called Montefiore over. "I think the Italian joint sent us another coupon," he said. Donning a pair of latex gloves, he carefully opened the envelope with a letter opener and pulled out the contents. Again, it was a single sheet of paper, folded neatly into thirds. The contents, like the envelope, were typed. Killed with one shot. The snowplow driver. Murder being so rare in Howard County, Peller didn't doubt the connection. Montefar studied the paper as though a novel were written on it. He's calling attention to the numbers. Peller rose and walked to the window. As luck would have it, a snowplow was making its way down the road outside. First 0 victims, then 1 shot. 2 comes next, but 2 what? Could be anything. He's changed what the numbers are attached to. He's changed the location where he mails the notes. He's even changed how he wrote the notes. But he didn't change his name. Not exactly, anyway. She joined him at the window, looking upward. Following her gaze, Peller saw several turkey vultures wheeling overhead. Leonardo's of Pisa, Mr. F. Leonard. You think he's telling us his name? Not necessarily. That might just be what he wants us to call him. It means lion, or something about lions. Before he could pursue the thought, he was called back to his desk by the phone warbling. He snatched up the receiver, said, "Peller," and listened for a moment. "Okay, Karina and I will be over." Montefar wheeled, ready for action. "What now?" "I guess the storm is over. There's been another golfing.